The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost. Bank for better. Sign up today. Edgeboost.bet, code HBN, and get a free Reds or Terrors t-shirt. Claim your free shirt at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs. We're also brought to you by NY Bets, because you can get a $25 free bet for the Belmont by going to nybets.com/HBN25, promo code SGPN25. And welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is currently Thursday afternoon, June 5th, around 5 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm Russ episode Scott Reichel, once again joined by Lonte Smith again, and together we're going to break down the games here for the Friday card. Decent amount of baseball today. It is getaway day, so overall, how's it going with you, Lonte? How have you enjoyed the day baseball today?
Not bad, man. Crazy game between the Diamondbacks and the Braves. So I enjoyed that one for sure. Outside of that, man, it's been pretty good. Just checking it easy. Getting some new series underway, so I'm excited about that this weekend.
Yeah, definitely a crazy game. The Braves allowed, I think it was 7 runs in the 9th inning. They completely unraveled.
10-4, yep.
Yeah, the team sucks. That's kind of the main takeaway there. They can't close. Iglesias was really bad. Blew it, coincidentally. And, just overall, really, they got swept, I think, by Arizona. They've just been terrible.
Yep, they have been.
So
Arizona was terrible going into that series.
Arizona's been really bad, but I think the Braves have now lost 11-14.
Yeah.
And they got Strider back, and they got Acuna back, and they've just been awful. So nothing else really out there. But they finally woke up offensively, and it didn't matter. So that was definitely the main score line of the day. The White Sox actually just walked off the Tigers in extras.
Damn.
Cardinals walked off the Royals in extras as well. Mets are up 4-2, but the Dodgers are threatening. A's are actually winning a game for once. They're up 12-1. And I saw Cal Raleigh hit another home run. He homered to give the Mariners a 2-run lead into the 6th inning. Anyway, moving on to the actual card for the Friday slate. Before we get into any of the actual game previews, a reminder that you can help join the SGPN community by downloading the app. So you can definitely get all of our free picks and podcasts for the Stanley Cup, College Baseball World Series, and NBA Finals on the SGPN app. Get it wherever you do. Get your apps free to download. Moving on to the games on the card for Friday, starting off with the Marlins taking on the Rays. We have no lines, by the way, unlike half these games. Apologies, it is what it is. For this one, though, you have Miami off of getting swept by the Rockies, ouch, against the Rays. The Rays have been really good lately. They're looking at Littell, who's pitching. Last time he pitched, pretty sure he had a 116 pitch complete game, so he might be exhausted. And Cabrera's been good recently, 2-1, 4.14 ERA. I do want to point out Cabrera has allowed 0 runs in his last 2 starts combined, so he has turned it around. I'll ask you, though, Tampa should be a decent favorite in this game because they've been in good form and because Miami stinks. But Littell might be exhausted. We'll see how long he goes in this game. I think I like the under in this game. I think I trust Cabrera a bit, maybe the first 5 under. Littell's been fine, though. Cabrera's been good. Give me a low-scoring start to this game.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I would look at Miami first 5. You talked about the fatigue. I mean, Littell's coming off that first career complete game. He's been steady since the end of April. His hit rate is still a bit high. And Miami, I mean, they can't get any lower than what they got this past week with the sweep of by Colorado. But Miami did take 2 of 3 at home versus Tampa in mid-May. You know, obviously it's a different team. As of late, they outscored them 14-9 in that series. But Tampa, you know, they've won 7 of the last 10. Offense has been really good. They've had 5+ runs in 7 of those games as well. I like Cabrera. He's been the better as of late. You talked about the he's got 11 1/3 scoreless in his last 2. So he's been in good form. He's only got 3 road starts. He had 1 or less earned in 2 of those. So pretty good on the road. I'll take a shot with Miami in the first 5. I'm pretty sure they'll be a decent size dog.
Yeah, definitely should be a pretty, in my opinion, interesting matchup. Only for game 1, because I think Miami might get destroyed in the series. But Cabrera does not go much length. He has been good lately. That's why I mentioned first five. I'd rather just back him and avoid the Marlins bullpen. Tampa, though, props to them. The offense woke up. Lau's been incredible recently, and we'll see if they can keep it rolling for this home game. Moving on to the Phillies against the Pirates. Phillies are getting destroyed right now, 9-1. As for the Pirates, they play later against Houston. Nice shutout win, though, yesterday, so good for them. You have undecided against Falter. For this one, Falter has been okay this season, 4-3, 3.14 ERA. Pretty good ERA. I'd say unexpected, but he's been pretty good. No lines for the side and the total. You know Philly will be favored in this game, and the total probably is going to be like 8.5, if I had to guess. But I'll ask you for this game, not really much to talk about because we have no lines, but do you like Falter in this matchup, or are you picking him to just get destroyed?
I mean, I kind of like the way Pittsburgh's been playing as of late. I mean, their pitching staff has been really good. I think Burrows had a really good day yesterday. So their pitching has been good. I mean, offensively, they just can't get it going on a consistent basis. And Philadelphia, they won 4 in a row versus Pittsburgh. 3 of those were in mid-May. They dominated that series outside of the skiing start. I think they won 1-0, if I'm not mistaken. But they've not been good as of late. I thought that we talked about it. I don't know if it was me or you or me or Mal. That Phillies record when they were like rattling off all those wins, they were against like below average to bottom tier teams, and credit to them for winning, but it really wasn't like that impressive. I mean, they've lost 5 of their last 6. 4 of those were at home, so I think it might be a little susceptible here, depending on who's on the mound. So I'm probably gonna take a shot with Pittsburgh at home. Falter's, like you said, Falter's been okay. I like the way Pittsburgh's been playing as of late. They're 500 in the last 10, so I think their stride is better than what they were last month. So I'll probably take a shot with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I can get behind that. It depends on what the price is going to be.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I think Falter's actually been okay so far this season. Moving on to the Rangers and the Nationals. The Nationals had a really, really low-scoring game yesterday because Gore was really good, and they won 2-0. But for the Rangers, this team is absolutely horrible. They can't hit. So the hitting coach they fired is thrilled that this team is still terrible. 9-20 on the road this season, so not exactly ideal. But for the matchup, you have Corbin against Soroka. For the pricing, I actually have lines in this game, which is nice. You have the Rangers at -136. You have the Nationals at +116. For the over-under, I see 9.5. So for this game, Soroka has not been good this season at all. On the bright side, the last time he pitched, he got 10 runs of support in the first inning. So that counts for something.
He was still bad, though.
He was not good. There was a moment there Arizona actually had the tying run at the plate later on in that game. But Corbin's been fine. He's not been as good as he was in the first month or so. But, I mean, we thought Corbin was the worst pitcher in the league, and he's actually been usable for 2 months. So that counts for something. But I'll ask you for this one because I think the Rangers should never be favored on the road against anybody because this team sucks. But I understand Soroka being a dog because he's not very good either. I'd argue the over, but that implies I have to back the Rangers offense. So I guess I'm on Nationals team total over and Nationals money line, blindly fading Texas on the road.
Yeah, that's how I felt. That's how I came about it. My first thought was just a Washington team total. Although Corbin's been okay. I mean, he hasn't allowed over 3 earned runs this year. He's slightly better at home than road. But as of late, he's been getting a lot of home runs. I think 5 in his last 4. And on the opposite side, Soroka's given up 5 home runs in his last 4. His hit rate has been up after his last few starts. But Washington's been the better team as of late. I mean, they beat some solid teams in the process. They won 6 of their last 10. So, yeah, I wanted to bet under as well. But, I mean, I wanted to bet over as well. But I don't trust Texas offensively. And I know both of these pitchers can be, like, volatile. So I'll just take both of these things out of it and go with the Washington team total over. I think their offense is the best unit on the field, so of the 4. So I'm going to go with Washington and go to a team total over.
Yeah, I do want to point out, though, that it was brought up by Trevor that it might be a Corbin revenge game. Revenge for what? They paid him $140 million over 6 years to be the worst pitcher in the league.
And he left and got better.
Revenge game. He should be intentionally throwing pitches right down the middle for that team. $140 million. He won them a ring. But he was like the worst pitcher in the league. Revenge for what? I feel like we overuse the term revenge game because that implies that there's some reason that you want to be motivated to show your old team that they were wrong about you. No, they paid you $140 million. I think that Corbin is pretty cool with the Nationals. The Nationals fans might boo the crap out of him. I'd understand that. But I don't know if revenge game's the right term. It's a lot of dollar bills he can wipe his tissues away if he gets emotional. If he wipes his tears away. But damn, that's a really bad contract. Anyway, point is for that one, I like the over, I guess, and give me Washington, but I'm not really a fan of anything in that one. Moving on to the next game, you have the Red Sox against the Yankees. Now, for this one, you have a match between Buehler and Warren. Yankees are minus 166. The Red Sox are plus 140. The over-under is at 9. Boston won the final game of the series via walk-off. Crazy game against the Angels. It was a wild series. They had the first inning, for reference, the first 5 batters for the Angels reached base in the top of the first inning. And the Red Sox said, we can actually beat that. And the first 6 batters of the team reached base in the bottom of the first. Then they went back and forth, and Rafaela hit one of the shortest walk-off home runs of all time because it was around the pesky pole.
Literally, I think it was recorded as the shortest in any ballpark, if I'm not mistaken.
It wouldn't shock me. But the point is they ended up winning that game. They still can't pitch to save their lives, and the offense has been up and down. Story's been a mess. Campbell's been terrible. Rafaela's been waking up, though. That's a good sign. Besides that, Devers has been fine. Duran's been okay, but, they don't really have much, and the bottom of the lineup's a mess. Mm-hmm. So the Yankees, though, have been fine. Warren got destroyed against the Dodgers the last time out. The Yankees lost the game yesterday because they couldn't score, and Schmidt was terrible in the first inning. But I think there's value on Boston. I think Buehler's fine. I think 166 with Warren's a massive price. I get Boston can't really pitch at all, and I get that's concerning, but this line feels very expensive to me. Give me Boston plus 140 in a rivalry game.
Yeah, I kind of like the Yankees. The price is a little bit high, but I think Warren will be able to bounce back. He had a rough one against the Dodgers, but prior to that, he had a 2.0 ERA. He had a 0.91 whip in those 4 games prior to giving up 7 versus the Dodgers. And the Yankees, they won 7-10. Me and you both know they're prone to having those outings like they had last night. And I think they, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they were really threatening to actually score. Maybe once or twice, but they didn't have the best game. And they started off on the wrong foot with Smith allowing that home run. So, and they were just kind of uphill from there because, Cleveland got to their bullpen, and the bullpen is still, lights out. But I don't really know what to do with Boston. They've lost 7 of 10. They're also under in 7 of 10. Buehler's been up and down on the road. I think he basically sums up what their team is. It's kind of like up and down, and you never know what you're going to get. So I think the Yankees and Warren bounce back. 160 is a bit much.
I'll probably just run line or pass, and I just don't want to lay that with the Yankees with no Weaver closing in the 9th inning anymore.
Yeah. And that's fair too, because I'll tell you, I lost the run
line.
I lost the run line a couple of nights ago. They were up 3-0, and then that was brutal. But or 2-0, I'm sorry, and then they gave up. Was it 3-1 or something like? I don't know. They were up 2 runs and they blew it because of Devin Williams allowed. I think he walked the guy and then allowed a
double at some point. It was ugly. But
yeah. So I like the Yankees on the run line. I maybe a good parlay piece, but 160 is kind of pushing it for me as much as I want to back Warren in a bounce back effort.
Yep. I think once again it's mostly just the price thing. The Yankees and the Red Sox, honestly, you kind of throw the head-to-heads and the records out the window. The rivalry may not be as strong as it used to be, mainly because the Red Sox have kind of deteriorated into nothing for the last couple of years.
Yep.
But it's still a rivalry. These teams still hate each other. I think 160 and change is just massive as far as I'm concerned. And the Yankees offense, even Judge has kind of cooled off of it, but he's still batting like 390, so I can't roast the guy.
Yeah.
Have you been a fan of anybody else in the lineup? Because I feel like it's just a bunch of nothing.
It is. Bellinger had that spurt where he was hitting the ball pretty well, but
he's cooled off lately.
Yeah, he has, and then
Volpe's been a mess.
Yeah, Volpe's and Jazz is he's either amazing or he's trash.
He's either a home run or a strikeout. But he also just came back too. DJ's actually been okay, which is not a good sign when you're praising DJ as one of the best hitters in this lineup right now. That's not a good sign.
I think they go out and get a couple bats, a couple arms as well. Well, I don't know about maybe a reliever or something, but they got to fix the bottom or the middle of that order to get some kind of consistency there. Because like you said, we just went over half of the lineup, and we didn't talk about we didn't talk about the guys at the very bottom, but
I like Goldschmidt though.
I like Goldsmith. I think Goldsmith. I think he'll be better as we get closer to as we get deeper into the summer. Once the weather cools down a little bit, I think he'll be like really, really good in that part of the season, like after All-Star.
Yeah, I see a stat that Trevor's mentioning that Devin Williams' ERA before the 9th inning is 2.35. ERA in the 9th inning is 10+. So there you go.
What happened to
not
that guy,
good.
man?
He's been really Pete Alonso broke him. That's what happened. But once again, it's not even just him though, because you're also throwing out like Leiter, who I think is awful too.
Yeah, what is the deal with that, man?
Well, Leiter I didn't even like in Chicago. They just traded for him because they needed the arm. They got Loizaga back, but like, I mean, is he still healthy by the way, or did he get hurt again?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if I'm not sure about that because I thought he was decent. I thought he could be. I thought he could be decent if he's fully healthy, but I'm not 100% sure if he is fully healthy or not.
I was gonna say I know that he's been pitching this season. I'm just not sure if he got injured.
No. Yeah, but I'm saying I think even pitching, I just think he's been pitching. Like,
yeah, he's playing. He's got an ERA of 4. Yeah. So he's been like average. Leiter, he gets so many guys on base. It's just such a pain in the ass to watch him pitch. But it's kind of my point. I think the back end of the bullpen's a mess.
Yeah.
So I'll go Boston for this one. Maybe Boston team total over. If you want to go for a fate of war in this bullpen, and you could avoid the Bueller experience entirely if you want to. Moving on to the next game. Diamondbacks fresh off of the crazy comeback there in the 9th as they take on the Reds. Now for this one, you have undecided against Lodolo. What do you know? We have no lines. So for this one, Lodolo, we know the season's been solid, 4-4, 3.1 ERA. Reds, though, are the definition of streaky, and because of that, they're mediocre because they're 3 under. They just alternate either multiple game winning streaks or losing 7 of 9. That's kind of where they're at the entire season. Arizona, though, is at 500. They swept the Braves and they had a miracle comeback. So you could argue maybe there might be some momentum brewing. There might be something cooking with Arizona right now. They still can't pitch, but they can hit. They might count for something. I don't know who's going to be favored in this game, but I'll take Arizona. I'll ride the hot hand.
Yeah, I'll ride the hot hand with Arizona as well. Did you see how Cincinnati won the middle game? I think
the robbery?
Yeah. Oh, my God. I think he put them up by 1 and got the game-winning catch. So.
An absolute wall scraper, but it still counts as a robbery.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that was a great game. That actually was a pretty good series.
Milwaukee's been rolling, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And
that was the only game they won in that series, I think.
Yep, that's it. Yep, because they came back in that one. I think they won. I think Milwaukee won 9-1 yesterday.
That sounds right because Abbott got destroyed.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, so I think Arizona is playing better offensively. Cincinnati, I think you summed it up pretty good there with how their season has been for pretty much the past like 3 or 4 years. So I'm gonna stay with the more consistent team, the hotter team right now. Arizona, not a ton of travel. Atlanta, Cincinnati. So I think they'll be fine here. So I'll take Arizona.
Yeah, I'm curious what the price is going to be, but I'm hoping Lodolo's a favorite, just because I think that this game could open up late and you might get some chaos on your hands. We'll do one more game actually, because we have no lines in this one either. A matchup between the Cubs and the Tigers. For this one, you have Brown against Skubal. For this one, the over/under, we don't have a line. But I'll ask you, simply put, any reason to go against Skubal?
Man,
what a pitcher!
Yeah, it's tough to do. It's tough to do that. Outside of that, he had a blow up against Boston, ironically, at home. But outside of that, man, he's been money. He's had like 4 combined hits in his last 2. He's coming in off 16 scoreless innings. Brown on the other end, he was solid in bulk relief role last outing, but he had 14 earned in his last 2 starts. He's got a really good K rate, but he's also got a decent size hit rate. So Detroit's both of these teams playing really good baseball. Chicago 7-3 last 10, Detroit 8-3 last 11 with the loss today. But yeah, I just can't face Google. I mean, I know the number is going to be despite Chicago being one of the best teams in the league. I'm pretty sure the respect of Skubal and what he's been doing, especially at home, is going to supersede that. So
they're gonna be at least like minus 170 if I had to guess.
Yeah, they will be. So I'll take I'll probably end up taking some Chicago just off value alone. But I mean, it's hard to face Skubal for real. But I mean, with a team like Chicago, with the offense that they have, I think they're more than capable of putting up a fight at a nice plus price. So if it's like 150 or above, I'll definitely be on Chicago.
Yeah, I think the one pushback I'll give you there is the fact that I don't like Ben Brown at all.
Yeah, that's
So
fair. That's fair.
if they were using a better pitcher, I would consider it. But the problem is, I don't think Brown's any good. Now, the Tigers did struggle against the White Sox. They actually lost the game today in extras. So we'll see how they do in this series, but I can't really go against the best pitcher in the league. Scooball's just been a monster for 2 months straight. I can't really ignore that. So anyway, I'll go with the Tigers, but if you want to go for maybe the first 5 or -1.5 and fade Brown, take that approach. That could be a bolder option to get plus money. Anyway, before we get into the remainder of the slate, a reminder they're brought to you by our sponsor, which is EdgeBoost, because the first ever bank account for bettors, ensuring that our gambling transactions are approved. No use fees, no minimums, catch records as well, 100% approval. For other than pods to sign up today, EdgeBoost.pepper, go to SGPN. If you sign up this week, you'll get a free Rest of Terrorist t-shirt. Go to sportsgamble.com/refs to claim your free shirt today. We're also brought to you by Arnold Fantasy because they are going along with the NBA Finals with their extender bonus hop in game 1. And the longer the series goes, the bigger the bonus gets. And a reminder, if you do want to sign up for a new account, use the promo code MLBSGPN to get a special pick and a first-time deposit offer up to $1K in bonus cash. On fantasy promo code MLBSGPN. We're also brought to you by NYA Bets because you can bet the Belmont Stakes Saratoga with NYA Bets, and you could also sign up today with the pro code SGPN25 to get a $25 free bet plus $200 deposit match bonus. Whether you're a seasoned bettor or you're just getting started, NYA Bets can help you make the jump to the action more easily. The exclusive offer is just for the Belmont Stakes, so don't wait. Join now. Claim your free $25 Belmont bet today at NYABets.com/SGPN25. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Force Fabit there. I've had a bunch of tennis episodes lately.
Yeah,
Welcome back to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Just finished going through the first couple of games on the card. Time to keep it rolling. Hopefully, we have lines on this game. You have the Astros taking on the Guardians. Now, for this one, you have Gordon against Logan. We actually have lines for this game. Guardians -118. You have the Astros at even money. For the over-under, I see 8.5. Now, I might blindly take the under in this game because Houston's been winning, but damn, this team can't hit at all. Like, they're winning a bunch of 2-0 games or like 4-1 games. The offense has been a mess. I faded Mike Burrows yesterday, and he went 5 scoreless. That's not a good sign for Houston. They can't hit right now. Cleveland offensively has been okay. I mean, Jose has been a lunatic, but besides that, I'm not really sold on the rest of the lineup. I like the under at 8.5, and this total's a bit high.
Yeah, I mean, Houston's been playing really good baseball as of late. 7-3 in the last 10.
Yeah, they're winning. They're just not scoring runs.
Yeah, and I think that's still scary, man, because they're going to get going. They're going to get. When is Jordan supposed to get back?
I heard he had a fracture when he was trying to practice, or like I heard the swelling went down. And they saw that he had a fracture as well, so he's going to be out for a couple more weeks.
Oh, yeah, that's not good. So I'm interested to see what they do at the deadline to maybe get a bat or two in there, and maybe an arm or two, because the rotation is kind of took a couple hits. Are any of the, so I know Arrieta's done for the year, right? He's having TJ, right?
I don't remember if he's having TJ or if he broke something in his hand. Okay, I got to remember what happened.
And Javier is what's the deal with Javier?
Javier, I think, is done.
Okay, yeah. So they gotta add a couple things there, but they've been still just playing well. I mean,
they lost another guy. Blanco's out for the year.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. So I think I like the way they've been playing, man. I mean, I know Cleveland's coming back home.
By the way, sorry, an update a week ago. Arrieta was playing catch. He broke his thumb.
Oh, okay. All right.
So he might come back in a couple weeks. Who knows?
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, but all that to say, I'm probably going to take Houston in this spot. I mean, I like the way Pena's been playing. He's been playing out of his mind.
10-game hit streak.
Yeah, he's been playing out of his mind. So I'm going to take Houston. They've been playing a lot better lately, although I'm well aware that Cleveland's much better at home than they are on the road, and they just coming off a regular series against the Yankees, depending on what happens today.
Yeah, once again, I think I'll agree with you about Houston, but all their games are just low-scoring, painful watches at this point, so I'll go with the under as well. Moving on to the next game, matchup between the Royals and the White Sox. White Sox, not a bad series against Detroit. For this one, though, looking at the matchup between, you have Lugo and Martin. The Royals are -180, the White Sox are +150. Over-under in this game is set at 8.5 or 8. Lugo this season's been fine, a 3-5, 3.45 ERA. Martin 2-6, 3.67 ERA. But we know that the White Sox have been okay at home. They're only 3 under at home. They're 23 overall, so they're awful on the road. But Kansas City's 2 over, and they're 4 under on the road. I like the under in general, because Kansas City can't really hit, especially on the road. And the White Sox never hit. However, 150, I'll take a spin with Chicago. They had a decent series against Detroit, and I'll fake Kansas City on the road.
Yeah, they did, man, for sure. And the Royals, although I will say this, the Royals have won 10 straight versus the White Sox, 4-0 this year, but 3 of those 4 were really competitive. I think they lost 10-0 in the finale, but Martin's been okay. 2 or less in 3 of his last 4. He pitches well at home, low K rate. He goes deeper in the game, so they don't have to worry about the White Sox bullpen, 6+ innings in 4 straight. He did pitch. I would say he was mediocre. 4 earned and 4 1/3 in the May outing, and Lugo was really good with 1 earned and 6 2/3. But he did allow 7 hits, so that's a cause for concern. Only 3 innings pitched in his return. Gave up 4. 2 of those were home runs. So I'm gonna go with White Sox as well. I mean, typically, I think we might as well rename this podcast to the White Sox vs. 5 podcast. But I'll take the White Sox vs. 5 in full game. I think the price is a little bit rich.
Yeah, I think it should be closer to -160, in my opinion. So I think 180 is a bit high as well. Moving on to the next game, Padres against the Brewers. Padres have had a pretty weird series against the Giants because it feels like every game's the exact same. And the question is, who can actually score some runs? They're down 3-2 right now, which feels like every other game in the series. But overall, the Padres, they used to be good. Now they are 10 over, which is fine, but I remember that they were in power rankings as like one of the best teams in the league a couple of months ago. 15-15 on the road. They might be 15-16 now after today. We'll see. Milwaukee, though, 5 over. They are 8 over at home. They've been rolling. You have Vasquez against Patrick for this one. Now, for the pricing, I see the Brewers -148, the Padres at +126, and the over-under in this game is set at about, where is it at? I see 8.5. Juice to the under in this game. Patrick's been fine. Goes no distance at all, but he has an ERA below 3. Vasquez, though, 3-4, 3.99 ERA. He has been pretty bad lately, though. Last 2 starts, he's given up 7 runs, so something to keep in mind. But he has actually been getting decent results in terms of wins and losses because the Padres score a bunch of runs in support. The Padres have actually won 5 of the last 6 starts that he's made. So we'll see what happens, but I think I got to take Milwaukee, just based on current form. I'll go -1.5. I'll take a spin with it, actually. I don't trust San Diego on the road. They have not looked that good in the series so far. Had a really bad loss yesterday where they led like 5-0, gave up 6 unanswered runs. But either way, Milwaukee run line for one of the hottest teams in the league is at +140. I like it. In Milwaukee on the run line at +140.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I like the price. I think anything under 155 is good with me. I mean, Milwaukee's obviously been one of the harder teams in the league, 9-1 the last 10. They've been dominant too. They're not just scraping by. I mean, what they did to the Phillies on the road was insane. They're hitting about 270 in their last 10, 6.2 runs per 9. You talked about Patrick. He's been fine. No link like you said, but he's been solid at home. 2 or less in 5 of 6, 3 or less in all of his starts. But if you go to Vasquez, I mean, he's been solid on the road, 2 or less in 5 of his 6 starts on the road. He's also, his hit rate's he's allowed exactly 6 hits in 4 of his last 6 games, 7 home runs in his last 5. So a bit kind of hit or miss there. And I mean, San Diego's won 7 of 10, but I mean, I couldn't have been more less impressed by a team who's won 7 of the last 10. But I think Milwaukee's a superior team right now. You got to keep betting the under in the San Diego games. I think both pitchers provide that substance to be able to go pretty good. I'm more worried about Vasquez than I am Patrick. But I think they can hold them under. I think we see a 4-3 type of game here with Milwaukee squeezing by.
Yeah,
or maybe we can go 4-2 so you can catch that -1.5.
I was going to say, I think it was going to be close, but I think that Milwaukee sneaks away. I'm looking for the value, so that's why I'm going to go with it for that one, for the run line. Moving on to the next one, you have the Blue Jays against the Twins. For this one, you have Gausman against Ober. Ober was supposed to pitch, I believe, yesterday, and then they ended up having was it rained out, or they just changed who was pitching? Because I'm pretty sure I broke down Ober yesterday.
I'm not sure. I thought the only game that was rained out was the Royals.
So why did I think Ober was supposed to pitch?
No, maybe I could be wrong, but
was he supposed to pitch? I think he was supposed to pitch today, and they bumped him back for Festa. I think that's what happened. And then Festa got destroyed. Either way, the point is Ober is pitching for this game. He's going up against the Blue Jays with Gausman. For the actual pricing for this game, you have nothing. We have no lines, which is kind of an annoying trend on this episode. I'll ask you, though, because Ober's been good. So far this season, 3.48 ERA. Gausman's 5-4. 3.82 ERA. He struggled the last start, though, 4 2/3, 3 runs. But you are looking at the results that the Blue Jays have had with him pitching. They've been good. They have won 4 of his last 5 starts. Now, as classic Gausman seasons go, he's a lot better at home than on the road. A 4.33 ERA on the road. I'll ask you what you like for this one, because I'm assuming the line will be close in this game. I'll go with Minnesota, who's 18-8 at home. So I think it'll be a pretty cheap line.
Yeah, I might go with Toronto. I mean, they've been playing really well as of late. I mean, Gausman 1 earned or less in 3 of his last 5. He's got great command, 2 combined walks in his last 6 starts. I actually handicapped Paddock for whatever reason. I don't know why I saw Paddock, but Minnesota's returning back from 3 straight road series. So I usually try to fade teams there depending upon the matchup. And I think Toronto's 7-3 in the last 10. I like under as well. I think both offenses may struggle here. Minnesota does play really, really well at home. But, I mean, I think Gausman can go fine. He's been in decent form. He's not going to walk a lot of guys. Contact has kind of been down a little bit as well. So I'll go under and take Toronto on the road. But usually when I take Toronto, they lose. So congrats.
Yeah. Moving on to the next game, Dodgers against the Cardinals. Dodgers are playing right now as they are in a war with the Mets. They're currently down 4-3 in the 5th. As for the Cardinals, they won the first game this doubleheader, though, so the bullpen should be pretty thin for this game. For the actual pitching matchup, though, you have undecided against Gray. We have no lines because undecided's pitching for the Dodgers, but I'll ask you, Dodgers laying on the road, or you want the Cardinals plus money at home with no bullpen?
Yeah, I'm probably going to be on the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers have been they're the typical team who's like trying to just make it to the All-Star break, and then they'll kick it in a high gear for, maybe a month, and then they'll, go in cruise control, and then they'll lift it back up in the playoffs. So kind of like the Warriors did when they had KD that second ring. So, I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to fade them in certain points, but I think you got to back them here if the price is good enough, especially with Gray on the mound. So it's not like it's not like you're going against, some back end rotation guy. You're going against one of the top end rotations. St. Louis is really good at home. They've been playing well, 6-4 last 10, but probably end up taking a shot with the Dodgers, with the bullpen being taxed, and the Dodgers likely coming off of a war with the Mets, that they're probably going to lose the series if they don't come back and win this game. So probably take a shot with the Dodgers at a good price.
Yeah, I think for this one, I'll take the over in this game. I don't know who the Dodgers are going to use, but I think the offense can go fine in this game. For Gray, he's been good lately, I'll admit it, but I do think that it's a decent spot for maybe the Dodgers offense to do some damage. I want to see his numbers against the Dodgers, though, in terms of batters. They've been fine against him. I will point out, though, the Cardinals have actually been rolling whenever Gray's been pitching. To go through the actual numbers with Gray on the mound, the Cardinals have won 5 straight with him pitching. So keep that in mind. Point is, though, maybe Gray will be able to get the win in this game, so maybe there's some value on St. Louis, but I see runs. Give me the over on that one. Do you want to segue for a second, though? Because I do see some news. After the Braves blew a 6-run lead in the 9th inning, or 7-run lead in the 9th inning today. They were up 6? It was 6, right?
Yeah, 6. Yep, 6. 10,
yeah. 4. So after they blew a 6-run lead today, they decided that, I guess, Iglesias is not good enough to close. Do you want to guess who is going to be a brand new reliever with this team?
I have no idea because I don't know what they're. I can't think of their rotation.
They called up somebody who's been around for a while. We have not heard his name all year.
Oh man, I'm bad with this. Give it to me. What you got?
It's Craig Kimbrell.
Oh my god.
They called up Craig Kimbrell to try to fix the bullpen. So we'll see what happens.
I think they did it before the Yankees did it.
He used to be good on the Braves like 10 years ago, if that counts. But yeah, Kimbrell apparently is the savior of that Braves bullpen after the implosion today. So there you go. If you miss seeing the arm dangling while giving up 3 runs, you'll be able to see that again in Atlanta. Anyway, I wanted to mention that before I forgot. Moving on to the Mets against the Rockies. We saw the Mets destroy this team in Citi Field about a week ago. Facing off again, Mets minus 330. You have the Rockies at plus 260. For the over-under, I see 10.5 or 10. For the run line of the Mets, it's going to be unbettable anyway. But if you want to consider taking it, Mets minus 1.5 is minus 200. Senga, though, is against Sanzatella. I think Sanzatella is firmly the worst pitcher in the league. And I think Senga's been really good. So I know the Rockies are off of a heater as they ended up winning 3 straight games. But I'll go Mets to kill this team. Sanzatella is so useless. And you're looking at Alonso who's been crazy lately.
Yeah, he's been really good.
He homered again today.
Really good.
Lindor, I know, missed the game today though. He has a broken pinky toe, so I'm not sure how long he's going to be out for.
Oh
Marte
yeah, I saw
homered
that.
today.
I actually saw that. I saw that. He was like laughing on the ground whenever he got hit.
They're probably going to end up like doing the classic. I don't know if it's a splint or they just basically tape it to the toe around it, and they're just going to try to make him play. That's what I expect to happen. We'll see if he ends up playing. I don't think he's going to go on the IL though for that one. But point is, I'll go with the Mets anyway. The Rockies, they beat the Marlins. Congrats, but I think Senzatella is a batting practice pitcher if I've ever seen one. So give me the Mets -1.5, -2.5. I think they just kill this team.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't want to spend a ton of time on this, but I think we hit on this exact bet last time. Mets team total over, Rockies team total under. And I think Senga was actually pitching in that matchup. I'm gonna follow the same formula. I doubt the Rockies can score 2 runs against Senga. So maybe total runs under allow for Senga would be a good bet as well. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got on that. It's not a ton. It's not a ton of handicapping with a like a monster number like this.
Yep, there never really is. If you want to go for Mets team total over, I'm not going to stop you, but I do want Senga. So that's why I'm going with the alternative run line instead. I do want to point out, by the way, some other piece of news that's coming across about 20 minutes ago. Shane Bieber was supposed to make a rehab start on Friday, and now he's meeting with the doctor. So he probably will not come back this season. He has some soreness. That's not a good sign. So keep that in mind, but wanted to mention that too. Moving on to the Mariners against the Angels. Mariners keep falling off a cliff. They're trailing right now to Baltimore in the 8th inning. They're on the verge of getting swept in that series.
Yep. Baltimore's up 2-0.
Yeah, they have not been good. We'll see how this game goes, but they've currently lost 5 of their last 7. They're officially no longer in first place. They got jumped by Houston. Evergreen tweet. For this one, though, you have a matchup between just trying to find the matchup here. Okay, so I see Miller against Hendricks. So you have Seattle at -155. Angels are +130. Both pitchers are not good. Their ERAs are basically the same, 5.36 for Miller, 5.34 for Hendricks. Miller, though, has been pretty bad lately. He has allowed 14 earned runs in his last 3 starts. For the home road splits for Miller, he has been equally bad in both, but technically worse on the road, as he's a 5.68 ERA. For Hendricks, we know that he's not very good, but at the same point, he does have a better overall, I'd say, resume at home, a 3.8 ERA at home, so something worth mentioning. He has been constantly giving up 3 or 4 in every start recently, so at first glance, over, but Seattle can't really hit. So I might take a spin with the Angels. Maybe Angels team total over and you blindly fade Miller. But the over-under, I think, actually has some value at 9. I don't trust either pitcher. Give me the Angels team total over and give me the Angels money line. +130 fading a team in free fall. I can handle that. Give me the Angels.
Yeah, I like the over as well. That's the first thing that I put down. And to back your point up, the Angels have won 7 of the last 10 versus Seattle. Now, although both teams are 3-7 in the last 10, I think you brought up a good point with Hendricks being able to pitch a little bit better at home. He's between 3 and 4 runs over his last 5 starts, so he's like not been terrible, but he's not been good. So he's like
this game will probably be like 5-3 in the 6th inning, and it's like, all right, we just need one more run off these bullpens, and then we're fine.
Yeah, and Seattle did sweep a 2-game set in late April, 14-6 combined score.
That was back when they were good.
Yeah, and I think they will get back to that point. I just think the injuries have been piling up, especially on the pitching side. So I think they'll be a team to buy on in the after the All-Star break, whenever they get a lot healthier. But the Angels, the Angels are kind of like like how you describe the Reds, but with less talent. They have these stretches where they look really good offensively, and then they have stretches where they can't do anything.
Yep.
The bullpen's been horrible.
It makes sense, though, because they're so home run dependent. So it just comes down to if they hit home runs or not.
Exactly. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the over with both pitchers just being volatile, although Hendricks has been better at home. Miller's allowed 10 earned in his 9 innings prior to him going on IL. Hit rate's up. 10 earned runs in his last 2 road starts as well. So I think we see a lot of runs here. So I'm going to go with the over. If I had to make a play, I would be with you on the Angels.
I just don't see any value on Seattle with Miller pitching on the road at like -155. So I know you just mentioned a second ago you think Seattle will be able to get back on track. I am more skeptical. of Seattle. You mentioned them getting a bit healthier. They are still missing some guys. Kirby came back, arguably prematurely because he's been terrible. But the offense, Raleigh's been incredible. Besides that, Crawford's been heating up over the last couple of weeks. It's like he had 2 hits already today.
Yeah.
What else do they have? Like, Arozarena been pretty awful for most of the season. He's kind of a walking strikeout.
Yeah.
I'll ask you, like, what else do you really like about that lineup? Because you're expecting them to figure it out to some degree again. But you're looking at who was hot earlier in the year. Polanco was having a great start to the season, which I think was unsustainable based on his career. It just felt like he was kind of exceeding what we all expected his ceiling to be, and he's kind of regressed back.
Yeah.
The issue I had with Seattle from this offseason was they didn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I had too, as well. But I think some of those guys will be a lot better. And they might not get to the level, like Polanco might not get to the level that he started off in, but I think he'll get somewhere in the middle from where he is now to where he was. The same with a lot of those other guys. Now, they might have to make a move or two to get some consistent.
That's the problem. They didn't make any moves in the offseason. They never make any moves in general.
Yeah. Would you move a pitcher to get a bat? Like, would you move? I think I read something about Wu maybe being available.
It depends how realistic you want to be.
Because their pitching rotation, their depth, like as far as rotation, is really, really good.
Well, this opens up a conversation because you're Seattle. Historically, you don't like spending much money. Yeah. Julio has been, in my opinion, one of the most overrated players in the league for a while. I'm not a Julio guy at all. I think that he's got upside, but people expect him to be a superstar, and he's not a superstar. You could argue that he's an all-star. I think that's kind of it. Maybe you think I'm being a bit harsh here, but I'm not a big Julio guy.
Maybe a little. I mean,
I think he's a solid outfielder. Defensively, he's solid. At the plate, I'm not really a fan of his approach at the plate.
He's like feast or famine.
That's kind of what I'm saying. I think he's too talented to be a feast or famine guy.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So that's why I have issues with him.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But the point is, though, if your lineup is not that great and you barely invested anything in the team this offseason, are you buying or are you selling?
Well, okay, so I'll caveat that and say that they'll be a buying team for me as long as they make at least one move to. I mean, they got to get some. They got to get.
That's
some
what
kind
I'm
of
saying, though. I don't know if
I
they're
know historically
buy.
they don't. I know historically they don't do it, but I mean, right now you were leading the division for. I mean, you were playing. Without making any moves, you were playing like some of the best baseball. You were getting the offensive production. Obviously, that wasn't sustainable what they were doing for that stretch. I think they had a month stretch where they were hitting the lights out of the ball. I mean, the cover off the ball. And I mean, obviously, that's not sustainable. But can you get back to being just a little bit better? I mean, just a little bit worse than that? I think they can, but they're going to have to rely on these guys that they have to kind of project to be not as high as they were, but right there in the middle, and maybe bring in a piece or two to maybe get there. And they have the pitching depth to kind of get rid of one of those guys and maybe get a bat or two.
They can. I think that's why I'm asking, though, because you're making it sound like they, in theory, could buy and try to be in contention. Based on Seattle's history, I think they might sell. Like, I'm not sold on this team actually making moves to make the team better. I can see them potentially trying to sell somebody to avoid paying them a big contract. Like you mentioned Wu. I think Wu is very good.
Yeah, I think he's good. Yeah.
They've got a bunch of pitchers that I like, but I just don't think Seattle, in the grand scheme of things, is willing to spend enough money to seriously contend for anything year after year. Seattle making the playoffs is a serious achievement for this franchise over the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the ownership feels like they're going to be willing to take that extra step to buy. I always thought they were considering selling, and I thought they might potentially trade Wu for prospects. But I'll ask you what you like. Is Kirby's really good when healthy? Been bad this year because he's been injured.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it comes down to picking a pitcher. Like, would you trade Gilbert? Like, I don't know what you would actually do.
I would get rid of Castillo.
Well, Castillo is the one I would trade first because of the contract that he has compared to everybody else.
I would get rid of him. So who do you think?
But are you trading Castillo for prospects? Or are you trading him for an actual hitter? Because it sounds like he's more of a prospect guy.
Yeah, maybe
which makes you a seller.
Yeah, maybe you got to package something else with. I mean, it's baseball is like one of the weirdest trade things that
it is.
Yeah, so
but it comes down to mindset. I never viewed Seattle as a team that would constantly buy at the deadline. Historically speaking, they've been more sellers, if anything.
Yeah, that's fair. That's 100% fair. But I think if you're this competitive, I mean, you're right there with the division. I know Houston's playing well right now, but I mean, how much better do you think Houston is than they are?
It's Truth is, we really don't know.
Right.
Houston's rotation has been injured, but Houston, as season after season goes by,
Yeah, I mean,
they just always find
Yeah.
themselves at the top.
Yeah.
They always do.
Yeah.
So,
and that goes back to the history that you were talking about. Yeah. So yeah,
Seattle
I can
might go for it. I'll just believe it when I see it because historically speaking, they tend to either do nothing or sell.
Yeah, and Houston will do something.
Yeah, Houston always does something.
Yeah, they will do something. Yeah.
That's why I respect what Houston does. They'll
Yeah, me
trade
too.
away Kyle Tucker, get pieces back, and then trade for more guys during the deadline. Even though as a Yankees fan, I can't stand them.
Yeah, me
It's
either.
because they're good. Like, I'm not going to criticize them for running an efficient franchise. That's how I look at it.
I agree with you.
Either way, moving on to the next game, matchup between the Orioles and the A's. We'll see if the Orioles can sweep the series here. I think they're going into the ninth inning right now. I think they're up 1 entering the ninth. Yeah, so top of the ninth right now, up 1. For this game, though, you have Kramer against Sears. So 2 pitchers with pretty bad ERAs. For the over-under and the spread, I got nothing. So I like the over. Probably at, 15.5? No, just kidding. Go with these 2 pitchers. I'll take the over anyway. I just see runs.
Yeah, that was going to be my lock for the show, man. I like over. I was buying Baltimore. I think I've said it on the last few episodes. They have been showing me a little bit more, although quality of competition has not been.
It still counts.
Yeah, but they won 8 of 10. It's just the way that they've looked. Even in defeat, they've been competitive.
Yeah.
Whereas early on, they didn't look like they were lifeless. Not a lot of fight in them. But they're playing well. 5 straight wins, maybe 6 after this. Kramer's been better in May. He's got a 2.78 ERA, 3 quality starts. Just compare and contrast that. He had an ERA of 7 in April. He's allowed contact, but not a lot of runs. And that is, like analytically, that's kind of like screams regression. So for instance, he had 13 hits in his last 2, but only 1 earned. So, that's kind of a cause for concern. But I mean, the A's, they're losers of 20 of their last 21. Sears, he's got a high hit rate, low K rate, 6 home runs allowed in his last 5. Like an ERA sky high in May. I think we see a ton of runs here, but I would probably lay the 1.5 at Baltimore, to be honest with you, if it's a decent price.
I think Baltimore's been good. We'll see if they win the game today, but I like how they've played. So I don't mind that statement there. I like the over 2 for that game. Moving on to the last game, Braves with Craig Kimbrell now on the team, traveling to San Francisco. Now we know the Giants are good at home. They're 18-11 at home. Braves, though, 10-20 on the road. Schwellenbach against Birdsong. For the over-under, I see 7.5. Yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Giants are getting plus money. Braves are in free fall. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I think you got to keep betting under as well. I
can't bet the under with the Braves.
Yeah, you said you can't. Yeah, you're
First
right.
5 under, maybe. You back Schwellenbach and Birdsong, but I want nothing to do with that Braves bullpen.
Yeah, and Schwellenbach's been shaky in road starts. He had it going in his last 2 though, 22 Ks in both starts, no walks. So he's been okay. Maybe a first 5 under is probably the better way. San Francisco struggling a little bit. I know Posey was speaking out about demoting Lamont Wade and how much of a tough decision that was. They're trying to just get somebody that can do some offense.
Demote is also a stretch. They DFA'd him.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. Wrong D word.
It's fine. The point is they don't want him on the team anymore. That's what it means. But
yeah, and Birdsong's been okay. 4 earned and 3 starts. At this point, Atlanta's got to prove it to me. Just not. They've lost 4 in a row, 8 of 10, inconsistent, just too hard.
Terrible.
Yeah, just too much to back. So it would be San Francisco at plus money or nothing for me.
Yeah, Schwellenbach, though, has been okay recently, so I can understand why he is a favorite in this game. He has given up 2 runs in his last 2 starts combined, but he struck out 11 guys in back-to-back starts. He's been great, but it doesn't matter because the Braves just invent ways to lose games, so I can't take them laying juice in this matchup. Anyway, time to move on to the lock and dog and the home run plays for the show. Before we get into the actual lock and dog, a reminder, they're brought to you by Circa and the Ultimate Fantasy Ball giveaway because they are having the Ultimate Fantasy Ball giveaway for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas and be sure to VIPs for their stay. Get a limo ride from the airport, 5K, a tab for Stadium Swim, and a hotel stay for you and your 11 league mates. You can always get 15% off everything with the Circa properties with promo code SGP15. Enter the Ultimate Fantasy Ball contest for free at sportsgamebox.com/Circa. That's sportsgamebox.com/CIRCA. We're also brought to you by Rhythm because you've heard us about Rhythm before, and they just dropped a game-changing feature called Power Trends, AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's models have consistently won with a high ROI, and they also are updated every day. Exclusive to Rhythm, so check out the Power Trends and no touts, no noise, just clean data-backed picks. Download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, start betting smarter, and remind you can also try to free for weekly, then free trial. Go to the 7-day free trial, sportsgamebox.com/RATH, We're also brought to you by MyBookie, because MyBookie.ag is a place for every sport. They have the playoffs, they have the NHL playoffs, they have baseball, they have golf, they have French Open, UFC, you name it. They're available at ton of locations as well. Use crypto for only payouts. Use a deposit Santo for your new account. Use the promo code SGPN to get a one Santos match up to 1K. Terms and conditions apply. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through the games on the Friday card. Time to move on into the lock and dog plays. Well, I'll tell you to go first. What's going to be your lock and dog for the show?
Yeah, look, it's not a ton to choose from here.
No, we're missing a bunch of lines. So
yeah, so I'm going to go. Let's go with the lock. Let's go with that over for Texas Washington. I know we talked about it. It's hard to trust Texas offense, but I think pitching wise, I think both of these pitchers can be susceptible to giving up some runs. So let's go over 9.5 for the lock in Washington and in Texas. For the dog, I mean, I think I'm just going to go back to the game we just talked about. I mean, plus money with a good home team who's searching for answers against a team like Atlanta who's struggling, and now they have to travel across country to a place that's going to be, fired up. Birdsong's been okay. I'm going to take the plus 110 on San Francisco as the dog.
Yeah, I had a feeling we were going to overlap on one of these
figured
plays, because I feel like the Giants, you kind of have to bet tomorrow just because of the fact that the Braves are in such disarray, and they also burned the entire bullpen today in the loss. So they are pretty, I'd say, shorthanded for the sake of that matchup. For the lock, though, I was torn between a couple of team totals, just checking out the weather quickly for 2 games, and then I'll make my decision. It was either going to be the Red Sox team total or it was going to be the Angels team total over, and I wanted to see which one I wanted to go with. I might go with the Angels, but do I think Warren will actually pitch well? Okay, I think I'll go with the Angels in this one. I'll fade Miller, who's been really bad. It is not Miller time for this game. I'll go with the team total over for the Angels. I can find that at 3.5 minus 145. Hell yeah. And that's a great deal. Fading Miller, wins blowing out in that game as well. I'll go with that as my lock for the show. For my dog, I will not go with the Giants. We'll try to spread the wealth a little bit. Instead, I'm going to go with, it's either going to be the Red Sox or it's going to be I'm not going to take the Angels twice. So you know what? Give me the Red Sox in that game against the Yankees. Yankees bullpen has not been great either. Warren got shelled the last start. I know he was good before that, but I've not been that big of a fan of him in general. Bueller's been fine, but I think the Red Sox offensively have enough to challenge a Yankees team that has not been hitting the ball well lately. Give me the Red Sox money line at around plus 144 as my dog for the show. Time to move on to the home run plays for the show. Yeah, we don't have lines on anything, so you can go back to the Minnesota A's game if you want to. But what do you want to go with?
Yeah, I'm going to go right to the A's game, man. I'm going to go with Adley Rutschman. He hit one yesterday. He hit one yesterday.
I said Minnesota A's. I meant Baltimore.
No, yeah, I know what you meant. Yeah, I like Adley Rutschman to get going tomorrow. I think he'll have a big game. Obviously, that ballpark is hitter friendly. We talked about the pitching on the A side being so bad, losing 20 of their last 21, and I think this will be a big breakout series for a lot of offensive guys for the O's, specifically Adley Rutschman. So I think he's had 5 hits in his last 4 games. He's been seeing the ball pretty good. So I'm going to take him to go yard tomorrow.
Yeah, so I was thinking about going to the same game, but I think I'll spread it around anyway. I might go back to the Angels game. I just want to quickly see who has been actually hitting well. But now I'm considering pivoting, actually. Let me just see as a reminder. I mean, Lodolo's pitching, though, and I think he's actually pretty decent. Thought about Suarez. I thought about it, but I'm not going to do that. Lodolo's actually been pretty good at limiting home runs. I think I am going to go to the Angels game, though. Let me just quickly see who Miller struggled against in his career with this team. The only guy to hit home run is Taylor Ward. So you know what? I'm going to go Taylor Ward. I think that he's a guy who we know can be a bit streaky at times. Did have a home run on Wednesday. Last time I gave him out, he homered, so that was pretty cool. But I'll go with Taylor Ward in this one. 17 home runs this season, and Miller's been bad against him, so I'll go with that as my home run choice for the Friday card. Anyways, going to wrap it up for the show. Lonte, anything else you want to add?
That's about it, man. Wish we had more lines, but we did what we could.
Yep, apologies there. Not our fault, so it is what it is.